When we tried to think of a name for a house, the one that sat with most of us in the design team was Park House. It's got a view of the park. It has a setting of trees, has our own trees, our palms and our conifers, there for many decades. And you want to be connected to them. So when you look at the house from the park, from the street, you're reading the form of the first floor as something that respects and floats behind the landscape. I'm John Rose, Director, TKD Architects. Welcome to our house in Double Bay. We're in Gadigal country of the Eora Nation. The initial brief was for a family, young family growing, and to create an area on the ground that made the most of the site itself, and to then create the sort of private world upstairs where someone could relax and to be able to come home and feel that sort of peace and quiet and calm was also part of the design philosophy. With this then, we took a thought on the form and hence the use of the curves. I think the curves in the house, the solidity of the base level, the ground floor, and then taking that up to the actual external expression was important in relaying that sense of calm. Double Bay is an area of Sydney where houses mix with multi-residential apartments, townhouses, so it's quite mixed. This site has a beautiful frontage, but it's surrounded by medium density housing. So it's quite impacted by overseeing. We've designed the house to sit in the southeast corner so that you can partake of a front yard. You can get all the natural light in that you need. You can do it all in a very private way. Parking in this area is very difficult. So you do need to make arrival from the vehicle something that people enjoy. Its actual program is not excessive. We're able to get a vertical atrium volume, which is there for light, for separation of spaces, and also connection of spaces. In terms of design principles, the play of natural light, a very important part of anything we do, but in particular for the client. Previous house on this site was very dark. All of the building form, the cutouts in the building, the use of skylights, the positioning of glassed elements are all about getting the right sort of light into the house at the right time. On the western side, there are screens which open and close, and the perforations in those elements, especially to the master ensuite, are graded so that elements that face the setting western summer sun have the smallest number of holes, whereas elements that face the northern northwestern have a larger number of holes. The dappled light that comes through is something that's really nice. One of the wonderful things with this project was that we were able to do the architecture and the interior design all ourselves. And you can see that in the design of the kitchen, the design of the stair, even the loose furniture is all selected and all made from offcuts of stone, etc., so that it relates to that. The fireplace in this house is very important in its location. It's also very important in its design. The way that you can see through it allows it to form the division between spaces, but still allow the connectivity from as far back as the kitchen. One of the reasons we use Stoke, and the reason we like using their fireplaces, is that they allow us to connect with their technician so we can understand what we can and can't achieve.
My name is Jared Strauss, Director of Stoke Fireplace Studio Sydney. The brief for this project was to provide a large gas fireplace which acted as a divider between the living and lounge room of the home. One of the prime features of this product is the fact that it is entirely frameless, and you have the ability to finish the brass right up to the glass around the fireplace. From the frameless finish of the fireplace, the large raised elevated logs which are moulded based on Australian hardwood, fill the firebox and give it a lot of body for its flames. One of the key factors was we didn't actually want to vent the machine through any of the facades of the building, so the actual exhaust system had to terminate vertically all the way to the ceiling.
To get all of the clean lines that the fireplace allows, the design of them is beautiful. They actually heat as well. This is about sitting around a fire and enjoying having a real fire. The arrival to the house is through a garden into a fairly grand front door. Once you open the door, you experience the curvature of the house. Then, of course, you have the combined kitchen, dining, living space. This is zoned in a fairly traditional way. Very important to it was the way that the fireplace actually is an element, creates the differential between those spaces. The next zone back has an atrium space that goes up 3 stories through the house. There's a verticality to the centre and core of the house, which makes one feel you've arrived. The kitchen, of course, these days has a wonderful back of house, so that it's a fairly simple kitchen, but it's connected to a separate family room. And that family room has doors which slide away into a cavity, so in most days you wouldn't know they're there, and it all operates as one large sort of L space, which is all focused out onto the outdoor terrace, the outdoor pool, and the garden. Going up through the stair, at both sides of the gallery there's a private entry to the kids' wing. Parent retreat contains a master bedroom, 2 dressing rooms and an ensuite. The ensuite itself is on the north side. It allows you to feel and be part of, while you're in the bath, the dappled light that comes through the screen. Master bedroom has a wonderful feel of being able to open up to a balcony which is screened or unscreened. You then circulate up the stair again to what is basically a private retreat library, which allows you to actually sit and look out over the lower roof towards the harbour. When you're an architect and when you work with the interior designer and you come up with a concept, to be able to A, convince a client that that concept is what they want, and then to realise all of the mechanisms in the house as well as the building forms and materiality, and to be able to walk in the door at the end and just see that it is what you imagined at the beginning. That's what I love most about this house.